Today on Rappler, graft charges are filed against Mike Arroyo over the sale of used choppers to the police at brand new prices. Additional tobacco and alcohol levies, or the sin taxes, passed in Congress. And the trust ratings of President Aquino, Vice President Binay, Senate President Enrile, and House Speaker Belmonte all go down at the height of the impeachment trial. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The Ombudsman files graft charges Wednesday against Jose Miguel Mike Arroyo, former National Police Chief Jesus Versosa, and 20 others before the Sandigan Bayan over the sale of second-hand choppers to the Philippine National Police. Initial reports from the Sandigan Bayan say the graft case is based on a probe conducted by the Ombudsman on the 2009 sale to the PNP of 2 second-hand helicopters at brand new prices. The Robinson choppers, it turns out, were previously owned by Mike Arroyo, the husband of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. It's the second graft case filed against Mr. Arroyo before the Sandigan Bayan. He also faces a case connected with the botched NBN-ZTE government computerization deal under the Arroyo government. Edna Batacan, Arroyo's lawyer, says they're surprised by the filing of the case since they did not receive a copy of the Ombudsman's final findings. Dropped from the original complaint is former Interior and Local Government Secretary Ronaldo Puno. Mr. Arroyo claims he had no part in the deal and that his family corporation merely lent money to Lion Air, which sold the helicopters to the PNP. The Commission on Elections Chairman Sixto Brillantes Jr. is confident former President Gloria Arroyo will not be granted bail. She's now detained at the Veterans Medical Memorial Center in Quezon City. Brillantes is reacting to fears the government's electoral sabotage case against Mrs. Arroyo may soon be dropped after a witness, Rasam Mabang, fails to appear in court. Brillantes maintains the testimony of another key witness, Nori Unas, is the key to their case, not the testimony of Mabang. He says Unas can link Arroyo to the electoral sabotage and is the only one who can testify to the events in Malacanang. Lawyer Ferdinand Tapasio tells Rappler the case is already weak, but without the testimony of these people, it becomes even weaker. The bill seeking to raise taxes on so-called sin taxes, tobacco and alcohol, passes the House of Representatives less than an hour ago. The bill proposes to raise 33 billion pesos a year in revenues by instituting 2 tiers of taxes for cigarettes and 3 for distilled spirits and fermented liqueur. Here to tell us about that is Rappler's business editor, Lala Remando. Lala, you've been following this for a long time. Tell me, what does this mean?
It means additional revenues for the government, more funds for health spending of the government also, and it allows the Philippines to, somehow get out of that brand that we are the least expensive place for cigarettes.
So for health reasons.
Yes.
I mean, another reason that it was also being pushed was also to level the playing field for players. Does it level the playing field?
Quite, because the original proposal was to simplify the 4-tiered tax system, which basically favored the local brands over the foreign ones. Now we have 2 for cigarettes and 3 for alcohol. So there's an effort, there's a step forward, but it's not ideal.
Does it still give preferential treatment to local companies?
We'll see the details in a bit because our reporters are still trying to distill the enacted bill. But this is something that is historic, and I'd like to highlight this. There has been so many governments, previous administrations have tried to pass the sin tax reform bill, but we're never successful in doing it. It's only now under the Aquino administration, after over a decade, that this reform bill was passed.
Essentially 90% of the tobacco market is cornered by one player, is that correct? Is that part of the reason that it took so long to pass efforts like this?
Having one player dominate the local industry is just a recent phenomenon. It's actually the taxes which had created which allowed a monopoly, a strong player, the Lucio Tan-led firms for a long time. And it's also because of that, which led to the joint venture between two major players. So this is interesting to a lot of watchers, good governance watchers, and those policymakers, because we see the interplay of politics and a major industry, a major economic player here.
Excellent, Lala Raimondo. You'll keep us updated with what exactly is on that bill and what it means for Filipinos. Let's move on. Congress ratifies amendments to the Anti-Money Laundering Act, or AMLA, after the bicameral conference committee rushes to reconcile versions of the bill. The committee approves a bill allowing the Anti-Money Laundering Council, or AMLAC, to look into bank accounts of suspected money launderers without notifying the depositors. The approval came just a day after the Senate passed the bill on third and final reading. It remains unclear if the passage of the bill will keep the Philippines from being blacklisted by the Paris-based Financial Action Task Force. Senators Joker Arroyo, Alan Peter Cayetano, and Vicente Soto III expressed concern that politicians' bank information may be leaked and used to malign them. But bill sponsors T.G. Gingona, Senators Sergio Osmeña III, and Franklin Drilon say there are built-in safeguards to respect the rights of depositors. Well, President Benigno Aquino III suffers the steepest decline among top public officials in trust ratings in a Pulse Asia survey conducted during the height of the Corona impeachment trial. Respondents give Aquino a nationwide trust rating of 65% in the May survey, compared to the 69% rating he got in March. Aquino's 4% decline is the largest among top officials. Vice President Jejomar Binay, Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile, and Speaker Feliciano Belmonte also suffer a dip in trust ratings compared to March 2012. Aquino has the most significant decline from socioeconomic class E, the poorest bracket, which drops by 6%. In terms of ranking, Binay enjoys the highest trust rating. His 78% is slightly down from his March trust rating of 80%. After Binay and Aquino comes Enrile at 62%, coming from 63% in March. Belmonte ranks fourth at 29% compared to 32% in March. Corona is at the lowest spot at 10%. For the second time in a row, Binay upstages Aquino as the best performing top official with an 81% approval rating. Enrile comes in second at 68%, while Aquino comes in third at 67%. Belmonte takes the fourth spot with a performance rating of 37%, while Corona is at the bottom with a 12% rating. Pulse Asia also surveys the performance ratings of government institutions. The Senate has the highest nationwide approval rating at 48%. The House ranks second at 45%, while respondents gave the Supreme Court the lowest approval rating at 44%. In terms of trust ratings, the Senate enjoys the highest approval rating at 44%, while both the House and the Supreme Court come in at 41%. The survey was conducted from May 20th to 26th with 1,200 respondents and a 3% margin of error. New names make it to the survey's Magic 13th for the 2013 race for the Senate. Former Las Piñas Representative and Senator Manny Villar's wife, Cynthia Villar, ranks 11 to 13. Actress and Batangas Governor Vilma Santos ranks 13 to 21. A suggestion to take a psychological test doesn't sit well with Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. She directs her anger at the media. Attorney Vitaliano Arguire, who first drew the senator's ire for covering his ears while Santiago was berating the prosecutors during the trial, says Santiago should take a psychological test before assuming her new post as judge of the International Criminal Court. ABS-CBN reporter Nico Bawa asked Santiago to react to Aguirre's challenge. This prompts Santiago to storm the Senate media office. She accuses some journalists of accepting bribes and allowing themselves to be used by her critics.
Pwede ba? Huwag na namin nyo akong ganyanin. Parang hinahamon niyo ako ng ganyan eh. Alam na niyo, binastos na ako ng taong yun eh. Pagkatapos na yun, binabastos pa rin ako tapos ng trial. Wala naman akong ginawa ng masama sa kanya. Nag-apologize siya, tinanggap ang apology niya. Ngayon, meron pa siyang pahabol na paninira. Alam nga namang iniboto ang buhay ko sa mga ganyang paninira na yan. At ikaw naman, Mr. Nico Bawa, pinapahira mong sarili mo, nagagamitin ka ng taong yon. What conclusion do you think I will reach as an intelligent person?
In his Twitter account, Nico Bawa calls the incident unfortunate and says, quote, "I've never been paid and I'm very proud of that fact." Even in London, President Benigno Aquino III says it's still more fun in the Philippines. While on a 3-day visit to the UK, Aquino and his cabinet take a break from business and diplomatic meetings. They make a pitch for Philippine tourism, stopping for a photo shoot in front of this London double-decker bus with an ad saying it's more fun in the Philippines. Earlier in the day, Aquino began a series of meetings with investors in London, sealing a deal with the Philippines Associated Smelting and Refining Corporation, or PASAR. Communications and Strategic Planning Secretary Ricky Carandang says the PASAR investment will bring 700 new jobs. The president witnesses the signing of a memorandum of understanding between Rolls-Royce and Cebu Pacific. The local airline, for $280 million, buys new Trent 700 engines for up to 8 leased Airbus planes for long-haul operations in the second half of 2013. Aquino also attends the signing of an agreement between Aboitiz Equity Ventures and Gas Asia Limited. Malacanang says Aquino will meet with British Prime Minister David Cameron on his last day in the UK, Wednesday, June 6, and will fly to the US on the same day at the invitation of US President Barack Obama. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 1, a U.S. drone strike in Pakistan kills a key al-Qaeda leader. A U.S. military official tells CNN Abu Yahya al-Libi is al-Qaeda's number 2. He tells CNN that al-Libi, quote, plays a critical role in the group's external operations. Some counterterrorism officials say al-Libi and Ayman al-Zawahiri, who replaced Osama bin Laden, are the only real leaders left. At number 3, the Philippines and China both agreed to withdraw key vessels from the disputed Scarborough Shoal. DFA spokesperson Raul Hernandez says only 30 Chinese fishing vessels remain in the area after the withdrawal. Malacanang says the move eases tensions and is a step in the right direction. At number 8, a solar plane makes history when it lands in the Moroccan capital of Rabat after flying from Spain across the Strait of Gibraltar on the world's first intercontinental flight powered by the sun. The Swiss-made Solar Impulse is as big as a small commercial plane, but as light as a family car. It relies on 12,000 solar cells built into its wings. An around-the-world flight is being planned for 2014. At number 9, American Idol runner-up Jessica Sanchez will sing the U.S. national anthem during the Pacquiao-Bradley fight this Saturday, June 9th, that's Sunday, June 10th in Manila. Sanchez, who has Filipino roots, will be singing before a live crowd of more than 16,000 fans and tens of millions of viewers worldwide. And at number 10, excitement in the gaming world about the new controller and updated version of Nintendo's gaming console, the Wii U. The Wii U launches at Nintendo's Expo in Los Angeles and is set for a holiday 2012 release. The standout difference of the Wii U is its 6.2-inch wireless controller that has a built-in touchscreen, front-facing camera, speakers, accelerometer, and gyroscope. Well, Queen Elizabeth II greets 1.5 million cheering subjects from the balcony of Buckingham Palace for the crowning moment of her Diamond Jubilee festivities. The 86-year-old monarch was not with her husband, Prince Philip, who is in the hospital with a bladder infection. A dramatic fly-past caps 4 days of celebrations, marking the Queen's 60th year on the throne. Despite the rain, she waves from the balcony. With her are Prince Charles and his wife Camilla, Prince Harry, Prince William and his wife Catherine. In a television message, the Queen thanks organizers and calls her Diamond Jubilee, quote, a humbling experience.
I hope that memories of all this year's happy events will brighten our lives for many years to come. I will continue to treasure and draw inspiration from the countless kindnesses shown to me in this country and throughout the Commonwealth. Thank you all. I hope that
60 years. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Wednesday, June 6, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today. We leave you now with images of a historic moment, another moment, Venus in transit.